welcome back to my channel. It's your baby girl Abiola, and you're welcome to my channel. If this is your first time of watching my video, my name is Abiola. I'm a Lagos-based YouTuber. I put out content every week. Sometimes I do 2 videos, sometimes I could do 3 or just 1, depending on how my schedule is for the week. I post content on food, family, lifestyle, vlogs, cleaning videos and all that. And this video, you see this particular channel, yeah, expect the unexpected, guys. Expect the unexpected. So you really need to consider subscribing. Trust me, you need to consider subscribing because we have a very beautiful long journey, guys, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe and tell your loved ones. Okay, now let me take out my glasses, because this particular video, I know you can guess already why I'm, what's actually, the reason for my sit down video. I saw this movie Anikulapo, and wow, I was actually blown away. I was literally blown away because I wasn't expecting, I wasn't expecting this. Seriously. I knew when I watched the movie that I had to give my own review. Like, oh my God, I had to give my review. You need to watch the movie. I know this movie was released on Netflix on the 30th of September, yeah, but I'm late to the party. I actually just saw the movie like a couple of days back, and I just knew I had to give my own review. I have a lot to say about this movie, guys. Oh my goodness. The movie was produced and directed, I believe, by Kunle Afolayan. Kunle Afolayan is a fantastic movie director, is a fantastic movie producer. I like how Kunle Afolayan, is very intentional about every story that he tries to tell, in movies, like about the cast. Trust me, Kunle Afolayan is a very, very good and intentional movie producer. So it might release maybe a movie or 2 in a year, but trust me, if you think the last movie Kunle Afolayan produced was fantastic, wait till you see the next one is going to put out. That's what I like about people who are very, very intentional about their growth. So to the business of the day, guys, as you all know that this is my first sit down video, and Anikulapo is a movie that, okay, let's just get right into it so that we don't talk too much, yeah? So I have my notes here so that I don't forget anything. So like I said, I have my notes here, because I actually jotted out some points when I was watching this movie, and like I knew I had to speak on those particular scenes that we watched, okay? So let's start off with the Anikulapo, the beginning. Anikulapo is a Nigerian language drama movie, that centers around a particular mysterious bird called Akala. Okay, so I like how Anikulapo tells a beautiful story, through the eyes of African culture. Like, it's so beautiful to see how the African culture, is everything about the movie, the costume, the the settings. It's so beautiful to see how the Africans in the 17th century, how they lived their lives. It's really a beautiful one. I really enjoyed watching their lifestyle, the way the market area is and everything. Okay, so I really like that about Anikulapo. And Anikulapo centers around death, resurrection, and greed. Okay, yeah, that's I really pointed out about the movie. And during this particular ancient time in Yoruba kingdom, it is believed that when someone dies in the Yoruba kingdom back then, they don't bury the person. Okay, they take the dead body to a sacred forest, and there this particular mysterious bird called Akala comes out, more like to judge the dead and to decide if the person actually deserves to have a second chance at living or should just die like that. Okay, so, and the particular character in this movie that we all know as Saro, see, at this point, if you are yet to see the movie Anikulapo, if you are late like me to the party, see, this is a spoiler alert. So I would advise that you pause this video, go and watch that movie, then come back to watch this review and tell me what you think. Okay, so let's talk in the comment section about this movie. So it centers around this particular character called Saro. Saro is a very handsome traveler that, you know, came to this town called, is it Bongon? Okay, Saro is, you know, popularly called Saro Alashofi. When he came during the time they were having like a festival in Bongon, so when he came in, he met this woman, Aworun. I'm not very sure. I am guessing the correct name. I think Aworun. Okay, so when he met this particular woman, Aworun was a very influential woman in Bogon village. Okay, Aworun, when they met, Aworun was actually older than Saro. She's like way older than Saro. So, but she, you know, she talked to him, what are you doing here? Then Saro was like explaining to Aworun that he's actually a cloth weaver, and he's just trying to look for a new market for his clothing business. You know, he was just trying to, you know, expand his business. So, you know, Aworun was asking Saro, okay, like, do you have capital for this business that you know, you're talking about? But apparently Saro doesn't even have the capital to finance his business in Bogon village. So Aworun advised Saro to, you know, start doing some menial jobs, you know, to be able to gather some capital for him to start up his main business. So, and Aworun now, you know, gave Saro the opportunity to be one of her workers, because she has like her own business. She has a lot of workers that, you know, they do this clay, they mold clay pots and all that. So Saro, you know, now considered and decided to stay back in Bogon village. So he was staying with what's this woman's name again? Aworun. Somehow, one day like that, Aworun entered Saro's room, seduced him, and one thing led to another. They started dating secretly. But I believe many people in the village, you know, now they knew, you know, especially our workers, so they knew that something was going on. Then one time like that, one of the workers, I don't know his name, Sha, but me, I know his name as Macaroni, yeah. So he now met Saro, you know, spoke to Saro that, just to let you know, this woman, that's how she, once she sees a fine guy like that, she was just like, boom, patch on you, that she's the user. She's just going to use you, and at the end of the day, she's just going to dump you. You just be one of her slaves, and until she finds another one. But you know, Saro now as a guy, man, Saro was thinking that this one was just jealous. You know, was just probably jealous of him. He didn't really take the advice to act, so they kept on living their lives until one day. And one thing I like about this movie, yeah, the movie focused on Saro's life, and another area we were seeing the kingdom, like the palace, the Oyo palace. Okay, the king had multiple wives, and there was a particular wife, Arolake. Arolake was the last wife of the king. So Arolake was the last wife of the king of Oyo kingdom. So, and I think the king had like 3 wives. Yes, there was like 3 wives. So Arolake, the all other wives of the king of the Oyo kingdom, they had their own children. In fact, they had lots of kids. But Arolake, being the last wife, you know, she didn't have any. So the other wives showed her Pepe. Like they literally showed her Pepe in that kingdom. They didn't like her. They didn't want her to touch any of their kids. They didn't want her to. They didn't even want to associate with her. But despite all that, the king really loved Arolake, like a lot. Okay, but she was a very sad wife in the kingdom. She wasn't really happy. So, and now let's go back to Saro. So Saro and Aworun, you know, they were going on their lives. Aworun was always like giving Saro special treatment in, in a vineyard where her workers, where they were. So she always gave him food. They would bring him like his own food, and it was special. It was like a five-star meal. So, and one day there was a fine prince that came to the village, and I don't know how, but Saro found out. Like he saw, I don't know, maybe he was just sneaking up on Aworun, and he sha caught them. He caught Aworun and this man. He saw them in bed. He was very angry. You know, then he confronted Aworun like days later. But Aworun, being the very arrogant woman that she was like, how dare you now, blah blah blah, like what are you, like what are you saying, like are we husband and wife, are we dating? So she was like, she can't be controlled, blah blah blah. She said a lot of things, but I guess she saw that Saro was very heartbroken. Saro felt used. So she came up with one very good business idea for him, that maybe she spoke to the queens in the palace, and they said they needed someone that could weave their ashoke, like their what's it called now, the attire, the material. I don't know what that fabric is called, ashoke, that's what I know it's called in Yoruba. So they needed a cloth weaver, and since Saro was very good, because according to the story, Saro was very good in that business. So Saro paid a visit to the queens in the palace, and the very first day Saro, entered the palace, when he saw Arolake, he was blown away. So when he saw Arolake, he was blown away. Like, both of them felt that spark between them. But what I don't understand was how Arolake just like, boom, the very first day this guy came to the palace, Nitori alone, the very first day this guy came to the palace, Arolake was like, chop, 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 chop. She followed him, she snuck up on him. I think it was even very late at night. And that very night, that very day, that very night, that very day, she like, slept with him, in the bush. For me, yeah, I felt like that nudity part wasn't really necessary, but I guess Kunle Afolayan had the idea of trying to capture the hearts of the youths, to make them talk, to make people talk about that part in the movie, maybe to pull more traffic, I don't know, but I felt it wasn't really necessary. I know, of course, that that's not Bimbo's body, okay? We all know that there's a lot of technicality that goes into movie production, okay? So I know that wasn't her body, and that definitely wasn't Saro's body, okay? It's called film production. I understand that part, but I felt like it wasn't really necessary. So moving on, this movie has like a runtime of 2 hours 20 minutes. I think that's it. And yeah, and somehow they started dating. Like, who has the audacity to be sleeping with the wife of Oyo King? Like, I believe Saro has some, like, the level of his confidence, that confidence he has is mind-blowing. Like, how dare you be sleeping with the wife of the king, but they didn't listen, Sha. They were dating, and I felt that Aworu found out somehow. She found out, and she called Saro, spoke to him like, what you're doing is very, very dangerous. Like, you're treading a very dangerous path, and she really didn't want him to get into trouble. I felt like Aworu was a really good woman. She has a good heart and had good intentions for Saro, because let's not forget that she actually moved Saro from that small place he was staying and got him his own duplex. The duplex, the kind of duplex they had in that time. She even got him his own space for his cloth weaving. Like, he was supposed to be contented with that, but somehow he still wanted more. And that very night that Aworun spoke to Saro, I felt the message really touched Saro's heart. But that very night, definitely Arolake came again for another yummy time. So when she got to Saro, And you know, initially Saru was like, ah, no, I'm not doing no this and that. I don't want trouble, this and that. But somehow Arolake was able to convince Saru that she loves him. They should, you know, they should just elope now, just run away. They are both young and all that. Why should they be tied down? That she's not happy in the kingdom. She has been through a lot. She told Saru about the other wives tried to poison her. That very poison scene. I was like, you don't know this babe from anywhere. She brought you that about drink and you just took it. Were you not supposed to ask questions? But I felt that maybe she was even on a destructive path already. Like she didn't care. She suspected, but she didn't care. Yeah, she still went ahead and, you know, drank it. So back to the point where Saro and Arolake were now gisting. So the next thing, Saro that was just spoken to like the day before, now agreed with Arolake to, you know, run away. But that very day they were supposed to run away together, they caught him because I think, yeah, the daughter, don't forget that it wasn't just Arolake that saw Saro that very first day that Saro paid the visit to the queens in the palace. The one of the king's daughter also saw Saro and she liked him. She even spoke to her mom about it, you know. And the mom was like, okay, maybe she would invite Saro to come to the palace again. And the second time Saro came, Saro wasn't really paying attention to this maiden. You know, all his eyes were on, what's her name, Arolake and all that. So Arolake did not know that. Okay, for every time Arolake would say that she was going out, you know, to take fresh air, to sit, you know, just to enjoy the evening breeze and all that. She didn't know that the king's daughter was going to, you know, follow her. You know, the maiden followed Arolake and found out that Arolake was sleeping with Saro. So I guess she was the one that broke the news to the king and they caught Saro. They gave Saro the beating of his life. They beat this guy blue black. As in they beat this guy blue black. Lover girl was hiding in the bush. I'm surprised that the king did not even say that they should go and look for Arolake, you know, to also come and pay for her sins, but apparently it was just Saro that had to pay for the sins because the babe was in the bush, not like far away. She was seeing everything, and when they beat him. I think they beat him to the point where he passed out or he gave up, and that was when this mystical bird Akala, you know, came and was trying to question him. What did you do? This and that. But Arolake being the Jackin Shan now, you know, she fought off the Akala bird, and so Arolake being the Jackin Chan that she was, she fought off the bird. Then she saw one black guard or something on the floor that the bird dropped. So she quickly took it, ate it. Then she tried carrying Saro because I think at that point Saro came back to life. So I feel that number one, they didn't really let us know the significance, like the particular significance of this Akala bird. Like, was it that the bird was the one that woke Saro? Because Saro was actually killed at that time. He died, but he woke up. So I feel like they didn't really shed more light on the significance of the bird. Like, what does the bird do? Like, like, how come the bird, I don't know that part. I don't know if you understand my confusion here, because Saro was dead. He came back to life. How was Arolake able to even chase off that bird that had the power of death and resurrection? You know, but they escaped and they started their lives. They entered one village that they met one hunter, and the man welcomed them, you know, to his own house, introduced them to the people in the village, the new village. I can't remember the name of that new village now. I think Arolake is a lover. Initially, I didn't know she loved Saro that much, but then she gave Saro this particular black god or something. I don't know what that thing is, but it's actually very powerful. You know, she wanted, because I felt like Arolake could have used that to make her shine herself, but she wanted Saro to be accepted. She wanted Saro's name to be very popular and well known to the village, the new village, and to everywhere. You know, she did that for him. She gave Saro that, and Saro now became Saro now became a very, very popular man in the village. They gave them, I think they gave him a title. They were not even working. Saro that is Alashofio, a cloth weaver, forgot about his business. He wasn't doing anything. They were living fine. They always came. He was waking people, dead bodies. Even the old woman that he woke up, that the woman was asking him that, who sent you now, guy? Like, who sent you? He was enjoying the fame. He was enjoying everything, the proceeds, the gifts that they brought to them. Only for guy man, like I didn't even expect that part for Saro to start sleeping around like he was sleeping with the new maid that Arolake employed, in their compound. Next thing, he had other wives. I felt like that was where the greed comes in, like that popular saying. There's a popular saying that you actually do not know, you do not know your real behavior, like who you really are, until you have money. Like, my dad would say that a man can never know who he really is until he has money. Like, I felt like even Saro didn't know himself. He didn't know, because he was living la diva loca. Like, this guy was balling. He had even the audacity to say that the new king, because when the son of the new king died, and he was expected to raise the guy from the dead as usual now, as per Jacqueline Chan, or is he a miracle worker that he was, but he couldn't do it, and he didn't know that. I felt like he really pushed Arolake, because that woman loved Saro. Like, oh my goodness. She stayed so long. That's to let you know that it's not. Don't forget that. Let's not forget that Arolake was married off to the king of Oyo Kingdom when she was 15 years old. So definitely she lost her virginity to the king, but somehow she never got pregnant. Like, that was really so sad. She never got pregnant, and the king loved her. I feel like if she had known, she should have stayed back. Sometimes you don't know the worth of what you have until you lose it. And she also poured out that frustration on Saroda. Like, hey, like, I don't blame you. You of all men, that she a whole Arolake, the wife of the king of Oyo Kingdom. She left all that life to be with you, and you now start telling your new wives funny jokes, funny dry jokes, or dry jokes about me. They mock me, they do all sorts, and you don't do anything about it. Initially, I thought it was just that maid that Saro was going to, just stick with and be like, okay, it was a case of a mistake that now turned to something he couldn't, avoid, and he couldn't do anything about it. But this guy was still like marrying another one and another one. After those 4, he still wanted the youngest daughter of the new king in that new village that they stayed in. So I felt like even the chief priest was already like, where's the power coming from? I never knew that Arolake could pour out the powder in that powerful thing that he was holding, using to wake up people. But I guess Arolake was scorned. Like, she felt that she had already lost it all. She lost the king of Oyo Kingdom that married her, and though she wasn't really happy in that kingdom back there in Oyo, she wasn't happy. So, but she felt that she lost it all. So she would. I think what broke the camel's back for Arolake was when she heard those 2 guys talking in the vineyard, that Saro was planning to marry another wife. That's the king's youngest daughter, that even threatened the king that if the king doesn't agree to give him his daughter, he wasn't going to wake his son. That was when she knew that this man is something else, and she left. I knew at that point that she couldn't stay anymore. She had to go. But something I didn't like again about the movie, I felt like, or not something I didn't like, I felt like they were supposed to let us know what happened with Aworun. Like, what happened? Then the last part, did Saro die? You know, after I couldn't wake up the king's this new king's son, what happened to him? Because from there, the next thing we saw that it was on a mountain. So did he die? Because the bird came out again. So I felt like they didn't really shed more light. I really felt like they were supposed to tell us more about that particular Akala bird. Then what happened to Saro? What happened to Arolake? Her leaving Saro, was she going back to the Oyo king? What was going to be her fate? Like, oh my God, I felt that sadness in my heart for Arolake, because there are times a woman, you know, makes such mistakes and will not know that, oh, what she had was actually very nice. It was, you know, though she was sad, those other wives were, her fate was just a very, very sad one. And I really felt like maybe we should have known what happened to her, what happened with her. And then Saro, obviously I knew Saro was already on the path of destruction when, you know, it was just marrying different women. Now wanted the king's daughter. It was something else. Like, it's one thing to have money, it's another thing to be able to handle that fame and handle that money. So I felt Saro was like, it was already on the path of destruction. So Tie, like Yorubas would say, Tie really do me, but I felt like we didn't really see more of Aworun and what happened with Saro and the main significance of this Akala bird, because I believe the story actually revolves around this particular mystical bird, Akala. So, but all in all, Anikulapo was a very fantastic movie. Like, it's mind blowing. Like, it's very intriguing. So if you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and watch the movie on Netflix. You would totally enjoy it. Like, it's worth your time, trust me. It's a movie that is worth your time. You see that 2 hours 20 minutes, you're going to enjoy it. It's a very good one. So please watch and let me know what you think. If I'm missing out any parts in this movie, please let me know. But I think I've been able to cover the points that, yeah, I think I was able to cover the part. But I just felt like the nudity part wasn't really necessary. Like, I don't know, it wasn't really necessary. Then I heard the movie was inspired by Ifayemi Eleboibon. Like, I know the man is a very, very good movie maker. I don't know if he makes movies though. I know his daughter is in the US. I can't remember her name now. Onyi. I think her name is Onyi. And she's also very good. She's a very good actor. I've seen a movie one or twice. It's a very good one. So Anikulapo is a fantastic movie. You will love it. And I wish there was like a part 2. Yeah, don't you think so? Like, if there can be a part 2 to Anikulapo, it's a very good movie. And all actors, Bimbo Ademoye, like, see, tell me in the comment section, is there anybody that doesn't like Bimbo Ademoye? Like, trust me, if I want to see a movie, I'm going through the new movies on my YouTube. Once I see Bimbo Ademoye there, I'm watching. Like, I am watching the movie because I know Bimbo is going to give her best. So Bimbo is a fantastic actor. The same applies to Kunle Remi. Kunle Remi, who played Saro, is a fantastic actor as well. Is like, what do they call him on Instagram? Yimu, like, is a very good actor. And we know Mommy Shola Shobowale is also very good. Fantastic. She's phenomenal. That woman is she's amazing. She's a very good role interpreter. And Macaroni is also a very good actor. They all did amazingly well. All the cast, the crew, everybody. Like, it's a wonderful movie and it's worth your time. You should watch it. Let me know in the comment section what you think, if you've seen the movie. And if you have other movies that that I should review, please drop suggestions in the comment section. And I'll be seeing you in my next one, guys. Don't forget, please, to like this video if you enjoyed watching. Drop your comments, share this video, and please do consider subscribing. And I'll be seeing you in my next one, guys. I'm feeling my glasses, guys. What do you think? Bye, guys.